Welcome, ladies and men. Smart. Really smart, kid. Hello. I'm Joshua, Elias. I didn't dust for you guys, but I'm in the middle of doing some shows and getting prepped, so that's part of the tour and part of that is. I'm an oil painter. I've been painting since 1985. I've been in the studio about 14 years, 15 years, and I'm here every day, just about. That's what I do full time. I've done I got the studio. I did a project for Kelly Wursler. I commissioned me as designer for about 48 paintings for this boutique hotel from 2000, and kind of enabled me just to get momentum enough to just paint. That's what I do. I paint only oil. Love oil. Right now, I'll go over a few paintings. Some are from older, newer, but most of the stuff is in the last 4 years. I'll start with the most mysterious one, which is this, and you can step back a little bit here. And it's probably one of the most recent ones. It's called the Thunderous Expulsion of the Hypnagogic. And what does that mean? Hypnagogic is like a $9 word, but it's basically when you close your eyes and you're still awake, you're looking, that's what I'm painting. It's called hypnagogic. It's a state of being. So
hard to paint with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
It's hard to paint.
With your
no,
eyes
it's
closed.
not. It's very easy. I'll show you. I didn't paint it with my eyes closed, but there's a ghost of an image, as you know, in mine. This is a large piece, actually, and because of that, there's a certain physicality. Just to tell you a little bit about the process, I had to stand on this table, and I used to play basketball, so I can reach and things like that. But there's a physicality to oil painting that I enjoy, and this is kind of what I'd call more of a heroic style of painting, in that I paint very boom, boom, boom on the piano, the dark. This is what's said. So that's that, and that takes some space. I generally paint very light. In this particular painting, I make my paints. I wanted to get kind of an eggplant color. I still have to clean and varnish the painting, so it's going to have kind of a. It's going to look the same, except just certain brush strokes that I did are going to be seen a little bit more. So. That's that, and that will be an exhibition. I'm going to have a show in June in Culver City in the name of the gallery. I don't know yet the name of the gallery because it's the first time for the gallery. It's on La Cienega and Venice Boulevard. So that will be good. It'll be a solo show, and that also physicality-wise, to get in and out of here is a tricky little affair. Yeah. So it's 9 feet by 7.5 feet. The largest I've ever gotten in and out of here is 8 feet by 8 feet. So it's on aluminum frames, and they had to re-stretch it in here, bring it in over a long tube, kind of like a ping pong table in a way, kind of like that. And they'll have to redo that again. So they take off the staples here about 10 and then move it like that. Okay, so that's that. This is a painting called The Earth, the Spirit, and the Body. And I like to paint in the same colors sometimes and use different tones to create space. And every painting, I think, needs an entry point, a way in. Abstracts in particular. And abstracts need to be, for me, I think, specific. It's not painting anything, because then you're nowhere. And nowhere is confusion, and there's no way to enter and connect and to communicate and get, even then you might not get it at all, and it might not, for you, or it might not connect. But in general, good or bad, in different, the quality of my paintings over years, I have a lot of people collect work and this and that, is that they kind of are able to be with it and kind of see some new things into it over time, over weeks sometimes, and years, and that kind. So that's that. This painting I painted much earlier, and I borrowed the composition a little bit for here. Basic the idea of the yellow here, the idea of the white there. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like a chair?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Cool. Gravity in here is always from I always drop things and always catch them in the air and stuff. And this whole floor, they made beer in here. It's slanted this way. I'm just telling you right now. Literally, if you spilled oil, it would go like this. So, because they made beer in here, and exactly, they drained stuff out. Hey, I didn't know it was you. How are you? Lovely to see you. Okay. All right. So there's that. Any questions so far? I'll show you a few more pieces, but.
You said you clean the painting after you're done and then you varnish it?
Yeah, not until it's bone dry.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
what do you clean it with?
Well, I'll use mineral spirits very lightly on a clean rag.
Okay.
And I had a cat for 20 years who is now gone about 3 months. So now, yes, everywhere, but not like he didn't shed a lot, but he's around. And he's no longer around after 20 years, so I'm kind of getting over that for 3 months. And so the way I operate with varnishing and painting is a little bit different. I used to do it outside, and it was a whole dramatic kind of thing to protect him, and stuff like that. Winston, he's in Temescal Canyon right now. Okay, all right. I make paint, as I said. And this is kind of where I make it. These are called the Mueller. I don't know if any of you are painters. And these are pure pigments. Pigmento puro, pure pigments. So this is particular glass. But this is ultramarine, I believe. And I mix it with the oil. All the paint I use is not made paint. Some of it is, obviously. Some of it's not. The reason I do that is because I love color and I really can get certain qualities that I can't get from a tube of paint. And also, there's a luminosity to colors. And every color, every particular pigment has its own kind of thing. And it's kind of interesting. I'm not saying I can gauge always what it is. Sometimes it's just a very intuitive guess. But when you start grinding paint, you really have to put a lot of physicality in that and swear, and anybody you've ever been mad at or something like that. No, it's a little bit of that. So, all right, this painting is called Exclusion. I did about a year ago, and this is a lot of handmade paint as an example. I made a lot of these blues and this kind of marine green, or kind of sea green thing going on there. And a few more, and I know you guys are on a tour, so I'm speaking quickly. And coffee. This is actually horizontal piece normally, and this is. I'm working on a series basically, and this is an older painting I reworked, but basically it's called Floating City. It's the series that I'm working on. This is one of the Floating City paintings. The one that's wrapped is going to Palm Springs to Collector. That is the first of the Floating City paintings. And a third one is out right now. And what the idea of that is that we all have our own private cities. I think eventually we're all going to have our own private architecture. You create your own light, completely individual and different than you, and you, and you. And that's the way people are going to be relating through light and vibration once we get rid of the iPhones and all that other nonsense. Okay? So obviously, I'm not a Luddite. I don't hate technology, but it doesn't lead me through art, through fine art. And some of that might have to do that I was born in '57 and I'm 57, so I don't know what to say. Maybe it's generational, and I like it. But I'm finding in general with art, a lot of art is being created so that it could fit within social media. And I personally don't like to be dictated by a social media or a media other than the medium that I'm working in oil paint to create work. So that's my proselytizing. Blah, blah, blah. Sunday. Okay.
You're allowed.
Okay. Phew. Thank you. You guys having a good day today? Yeah?
This is a great studio with all the lights.
It's a great studio. I really am totally lucky with the studio. I'm very happy. And I came here when I first started painting in an all-weekend drawing workshop, and where they were having a rent party. This brewery was so dangerous, you couldn't park over there, you'd be watching your car while you were drawing. And it, like 3 in the morning, models were here. You paid like, I think $75 for the weekend. And these girls raise money, like they give you soup and stuff, and they'd have these models going, and it was just constant, and you could paint or draw, all these artists were here. And years later, when I got that commission, they told me about a studio, and so they told me I wound up in this studio. And then I got the studio, I was just painting on the wall, I just rented that wall. And I'm in here, I'm kind of like, looks kind of familiar. And then finally, I realized it was the same girl, was one of the young girls at the time that had had this rent party. And blah, blah, blah. It's odd. I wound up here in a very, and not even knowing, it was just strange. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. That French girl went back to France, and I took over the studio. That's the way things sometimes happen here at the brewery. So yeah. Okay. Any questions at all? Are you guys from one group?
No.
No? Disparate? Different?
It works really interesting and beautiful.
Oh, that's nice to say. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. The last thing to show you is, I guess, this painting, whatever. This is, I did about 4 years ago. And the gallery has told me, I was working with the time, said, kind of an anthology. So it's a lot of story, and maybe a bit much. I think if it's a bit much, but it's a lot to take in, and so the story kind of goes on to this as a visual story, and it's not so like a beginning, middle, and an end. But I decided to do it like in layers, and I think a lot in layers in my paintings, essentially. What's going on here? What are you doing? Videotaping this all? Oh, hello. Okay. All right. Send it to me. Huh?
I will.
Here, I'll give you guys.